The darkness between stars had always belonged to the hunters. For 300 years, the Vrek Dominion claimed the outer spiral as their killing ground. They were ancient creatures, cold-blooded and patient, with ships that moved like shadows through the void. Every species that tried to cross their territory died. The Vrek left no survivors. They left no messages. They simply erased anything that entered their space, and the galaxy learned to fear the silence. Commander Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the destroyer Iron Thunder, watching the tactical display paint a picture of death. 17 civilian ships had vanished in the last month alone. Mining vessels, trade convoys, a passenger liner carrying 4,000 souls to the colony worlds. All of them gone without a single distress call. The Vrek were getting bolder. "Report from Fleet Command, ma'am," said Lieutenant Chun, his young face tight with tension. "The Imperial fleet is moving in." Full deployment. Elena felt her jaw tighten. Full deployment meant Admiral Marcus Stone was done playing games. It meant every warship humanity could spare was heading into the outer spiral. It meant war. She had served under Stone for 12 years. She knew his methods. The man did not believe in half measures. When the Vrek killed those colonists, they killed the Admiral's nephew among them. Now the entire Imperial fleet would teach the galaxy what happened when you touched humanity's children. The outer spiral stretched across 200 light years of empty space. No habitable planets, no valuable resources. Just darkness and death, and the Vrek waiting in their hidden bases. Every other species had abandoned this region long ago. The risk was too great. The reward was too small. But humans were different. Humans did not accept closed doors. Admiral Stone's flagship, the carrier Prometheus, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of hostile territory. Behind it came 47 warships of various classes. Destroyers, cruisers, gunboats, support vessels. The largest military operation in human history. Stone stood before the main viewport, his gray uniform perfect, despite 3 days without sleep. He was 62 years old, and his face showed every battle he had ever fought. Scars crossed his chin. His left eye was artificial, lost to a pirate's plasma round 20 years ago. But his voice remained steady as iron. "All ships," he said into the fleet-wide channel. "This is Admiral Stone. Today we enter space that has claimed millions of lives. The Vrek believe they own this darkness. They believe we are soft. They believe we will break." He paused, letting the words sink in. "They are wrong. Every squadron will patrol their assigned sector. Every contact will be reported. Every threat will be eliminated. We do not retreat. We do not surrender. We make this space safe for our people, or we die trying." Stone out. Commander Vasquez heard those words aboard the Iron Thunder, and she felt her crew straighten with pride. They were afraid. Anyone with sense would be afraid. But fear was just another enemy to defeat. The first patrol went smooth. The second patrol found nothing. By the third day, the crews were getting restless. The Vrek were testing them, watching from the shadows, counting their ships, and measuring their resolve. Elena knew the attack would come soon. Predators always attacked when they sensed weakness. Lieutenant Commander David Park led the 3rd Squadron into Sector 7 on the 5th day. His squadron consisted of 4 destroyers and 2 gunboats, enough firepower to level a small moon. Park was 35, dark-haired, with steady hands and a reputation for keeping his people alive. He had never lost a ship under his command. He intended to maintain that record. "Sensors are picking up anomalies at bearing 275, reported his weapons officer. "Multiple contacts. They're moving fast." Park studied the display. The contacts were emerging from an asteroid field, using the rocks as cover. Classic Vrek tactics. Hit fast, hit hard, disappear before anyone could respond. But Park had studied their methods. He knew what they expected. All ships, defensive formation. Prepare for close engagement. His voice was calm. panic killed more soldiers than enemy fire. They think we're going to run. Show them different. The Varric ships materialized from the darkness like nightmares made real. Black hulls covered with organic armor. Weapons that fired concentrated acid designed to eat through metal. They moved in perfect coordination, a pack of hunters closing on prey. Park smiled without humor. Open fire. The space between the squadrons erupted in light. Human plasma cannons answered Varric acid sprays. Missiles streaked toward enemy vessels, while point defense systems tracked and destroyed incoming projectiles. The 3rd Squadron held their ground, pouring fire into the attackers, refusing to break formation. The Varric had never encountered this. Every other species ran when faced with their assault. Running made them vulnerable. Running got them killed. But these humans stood firm. They traded blow for blow. They fought back. 2 Varric ships exploded in the first minute. 3 more in the second. Park's destroyer took a hit to the port side, acid eating into the outer hull, but damage control teams were already responding. The ship kept firing. The crew kept fighting. "Iron Thunder, this is Park," he transmitted. "We have contact. Engaging hostiles. 7 enemy vessels down. Request support for cleanup." Commander Vasquez received the message with fierce satisfaction. "Support is on the way, 3rd Squadron." Good hunting. The battle lasted 9 minutes. When it ended, 13 Varric ships were drifting wreckage. The 3rd Squadron lost 1 gunboat and suffered damage to 3 destroyers. But every human crew survived. Every escape pod was recovered. The Varric had learned their first lesson. Admiral Stone received the report aboard Prometheus and allowed himself a small nod. This was just the beginning. The Varric had bases scattered throughout the outer spiral. They had more ships, more warriors. They would not accept this defeat easily. Good. Let them come. Over the following weeks, the Imperial fleet pushed deeper into hostile territory. Every squadron reported contacts. Every contact ended the same way. The humans did not run. The humans did not hide. They hunted the hunters. Captain Maria Santos discovered a Varric staging base hidden inside a hollowed asteroid. Her cruiser, the Relentless, bombarded the facility for 6 hours until nothing remained but dust. Commander James Wright tracked a Varric supply convoy and captured 3 vessels intact. The intelligence gathered from those ships revealed the location of the enemy's main fleet. Stone assembled his commanders via holographic conference. 47 faces looked back at him from ships spread across 200 light years. Every one of them showed the same expression: determination, hunger, readiness. "The Varric main fleet is gathered at coordinates designated Target Alpha," Stone said. 68 warships. Their largest gathering in recorded history. They're preparing a counterattack to push us out of their space. He smiled, and it was not a pleasant expression. "We're going to attack first." Full fleet engagement. All squadrons converge on Target Alpha within 24 hours. Questions? Commander Vasquez spoke up. "Admiral, intelligence suggests the Varric have never faced a combined fleet action. They operate as individual packs. They don't know how to coordinate against a unified force." "Correct," Stone replied. "That's their weakness. They're predators who hunt alone. We're soldiers who fight together. We use that advantage." He looked at each face in turn. "The galaxy has been afraid of the Varric for 3 centuries. Tomorrow, the Varric learned to fear us." The Battle of Target Alpha began at 0600 hours Standard Time. The Imperial fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation, carriers in the center. Cruisers forming the main battle line. Destroyers screening the flanks. Gunboats ready to exploit any gap in enemy defenses. The Varric responded with fury. 68 ships surged forward, acid weapons charging, organic armor plates extending. They had never lost a major engagement. They did not intend to start now. Admiral Stone watched the enemy approach and felt his heart beating steady and slow. This was the moment. This was why he had joined the fleet 50 years ago, to stand between humanity and darkness, to make the void safe for his people. All weapons free, he ordered. The Imperial fleet opened fire with everything they had. Plasma batteries lit the darkness. Missile swarms darkened sensors with their sheer numbers. Railguns accelerated metal slugs to fractions of light speed. The concentrated firepower of 47 human warships struck the Varak formation like the hammer of God. Varak ships began dying in the first seconds. Their organic armor, evolved to resist directed energy weapons, crumbled under kinetic impacts. Their pack tactics, designed to overwhelm single targets, became chaos against coordinated fleet actions. They tried to regroup. They tried to adapt. But humans had been fighting wars for 10,000 years. The Varak had been hunting prey. There was a difference. Commander Vasquez brought the Iron Thunder into close combat with a Varak destroyer twice her size. Her ship ducked and weaved, using superior maneuverability to stay out of the enemy's firing arc while her weapons tore into its hull. The Varak ship came apart piece by piece. Lieutenant Commander Park coordinated 3 squadrons in a pincer movement that trapped 15 enemy vessels between overlapping fields of fire. None of those vessels survived. Captain Santos led her cruiser group in a devastating flanking attack that broke the Varak formation in half. Admiral Stone directed the battle from Prometheus, his mind processing dozens of reports per minute, adjusting tactics, reinforcing weak points, exploiting enemy mistakes. He had trained for this his entire life. Every victory, every defeat, every sacrifice had prepared him for this moment. The battle lasted 4 hours. When ended, the Varak main fleet had ceased to exist. 51 enemy ships destroyed, 17 captured, not a single human vessel lost. The Imperial fleet had taken damage. Some ships would need months of repair, but every crew remained intact. Every soldier would see home again. Stone surveyed the wreckage and felt something he had not felt in decades: peace. The news of Target Alpha spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Species that had hidden from the Varak for generations emerged from their protected systems. Trade routes that had been abandoned for centuries reopened. The outer spiral was no longer a killing ground. The Imperial fleet remained on patrol for 18 more months. They established bases. They mapped hazards. They rescued stranded vessels from dozens of species who now dared to travel through space that had been death to enter before. The squadrons that had once fought for survival now protected merchant convoys and escorted colony ships. Commander Vasquez finished her tour and returned home a hero. Lieutenant Commander Park received a promotion and his own cruiser. Admiral Stone retired to Earth, finally allowing himself to rest. The Varak Dominion survived but changed. The survivors scattered to distant regions, never again gathering in force. Some eventually made contact with human diplomats. Treaties were signed. Borders were established. The hunters learned to live as neighbors. 300 years of terror ended because humans refused to accept closed doors. Because squadrons patrolled hostile space without flinching. Because the Imperial fleet looked into the darkness and saw not danger but opportunity. The void belonged to everyone now. Humanity had made it so.